has good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer.
Fighting through contact, fighting through offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film, this is actual football talk. It's a football show, we're supposed to talk football, not storylines.
And you are listening to another edition of Blitz with a new intro as credited to Michael Nania. So I appreciate that, Michael. As soon as Shaq Lawson got signed, I had multiple people. It feels like when everybody's signed, it's like multiple people are like, hey, where the hell is the review? Like an hour later. Took me a couple of days to get to the review. This is going to be 43 plays, so it's a decent chunk review of one Mr. Shaq Lawson. And then just other housekeeping, JoeRB31 on Twitter. I just had the live stream last night with Kyle Smith. Tonight I have the fantasy draft with a couple of the subscribers who I think by the time you listen to this, probably a lot of you already happened. So that'll be interesting to kind of chat with those guys and talk some shit with those guys. So we have that. We have the Eagles game coming up soon, or the Eagles review coming out soon. It's probably going to be out by Sunday or Monday. I know a lot of people are kind of over that game already, but I want to give it its due credit and do a review. It'll be a smaller review, maybe hour and a half. I'm only going to highlight maybe like 30 plays or so. And then after the Eagles review, I'll be previewing the Panthers game. So look at the Panthers roster, talk about some of the matchups. You know, I dive into it kind of at a baseline level, usually like a 10 to 20 minute kind of preview of that stuff. And I go into it obviously for hours talking about the actual game. The actual review of the game will be 2.5, 3 hours most likely. So I try to choke back a little bit with that, because if I did a full game review, 3 hours plus the whole game preview, that would be another hour and a half. And you're looking at 4 or 5 hour shows, and I just can't consistently do that. So I got to kind of dedicate my time to where it's the most necessary, and that's to the review of the game, not the preview of the game, because we'll review it after we see it. So that's the more important part. Other than that, not really too much to update you guys on. Again, we'll get I had the list of the strengths and weaknesses of him. I give that at the end. For the subscribers, again, I appreciate all the support. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers in a little bit over a year on the channel, and we hope to get that up to 20, 30, 40,000. We're getting a lot of subscribers to the website, $50 a year. You know, it's $5 a month. It's actually a little bit less than $5 a month. It's almost more like $4 a month. So it's a cup of coffee or two a month to get, in my opinion, the best Jets content out there in terms of actually learning about your team. If you don't like to learn the stats and the film and stuff, that's on you. Then that's cool. You know, then you listen to the live streams. And I love that people listen to live streams, but I definitely implore all of you to subscribe to the website. So for one Mr. Shaq Lawson, 27 years old, 6'3", 267. To be transparent, I watched 4 weeks of 2019 and 4 weeks of 2020. I watched 2019 week 11, 12, 13, and 15, and I watched 2020 weeks 3, 4, 13, and 14. Jets traded a 6th round pick for him, which really, if you really look at it, like pre getting that 6th round pick from whoever we got it from, the Steelers, I think, or one of these other teams. I forget. It wasn't the Steelers. Maybe the Colts. I forget who the 6th round pick was. But you basically traded Jordan Willis and a 7th round pick of the Jets, who was going to get cut anyway, for a Shaq Lawson. So I think it's a really good trade for the Jets. He's a guy who's here this year. Again, I don't have the exact contract numbers in front of me because it's not really that important, but at least I have a general kind of basis of what it is. This year, it's about $1.5 million. Next year, it's right around $5 million. So you're getting what I think is a decent level starter for, 2 years, $6.5 million, $7 million. I think he's a guy who could definitely be here next year next to a Shaq Lawson. You draft a rookie, whether it be a 1st round pick or a 2nd round pick or even a 3rd round pick, then you have that rookie behind Shaq Lawson. If he steps up, he takes over for Shaq Lawson, and Shaq Lawson's a depth guy. And then you still have the Bryce Huffs of the world. Maybe you re-sign Curry, you have the Ronald Blairs, you have Hamilcar Rashid, who might be able to step up. So I like this both for this year to hold the fort and going forward, because he's relatively young where he could still be effective for a couple of years. And Kyle brought up on the live stream last night, I thought it was a good point. It's not only for the pass rush, because the pass rush is a concern at a certain point. He does provide more than maybe some of the other backups that you have on the team. I think that goes without saying. But it's multifaceted, because you look at his game and you look at the Jets' run defense, the run defense was struggling in the preseason. And I know it's preseason, whatever it may be, but you have a couple of, Ronald Blair was supposed to do that run stuff on the edge, but you're looking at guys like, not Vinny Curry, Bryce Huff getting a lot of reps as a starting D end, and he's not the best run stuffer in the world. Even when Lawson was here, he's not the best run stuffer in the world. And you look at the interior of the Jets defensive line, which it boasts guys like, I don't know if that's the right word, but it features guys like Quinton Williams and Fadokasi in there. But when they're not in there, you're going to have guys like JFM and Rankins inside who are not the best run stuffers either, with linebackers in Hamza and Sherwood, who are going to be seeing a large majority of reps, who are also thin and not necessarily guys who are 235, 240, 245 who are going to be able to handle the run game. So I think the run game, both up the middle and to the edges, was going to get gashed a little bit. And now bring in Shaq Lawson, it helps it out a little bit. So that's another piece to look at this. The Jets compared to the defensive lines of 2015 and 2016 with Leo and Wilkerson and Richardson and Damon Harrison, and back then with the Sione Pujas and Mike DeVitos and Chris Jenkins of the world, Sean Ellis's. They were more run-stuffing defensive lines, where this defensive line is still very good, and I thought could have been a top 5 unit with Shaq Lawson and Vinny Curry. Unfortunately, I think it took a drop back to probably 10 to 15 range, maybe like top 8. It depends, but this is a pass-rushing unit, so I think sometimes they're going to get gashed in the run game. And like I said, a guy like this helps. But getting into the film, I had to pause it for a second. I was getting too hot in here. I had to put the fan on. By the way, I know people are probably going to ask in the chat after. 2 more things while I remembered why I paused. Again, if you're going to the Panthers game and going to the Patriots game, let me know. We'd definitely like to link up or meet at a bar or let you know where I'm going. Not doing anything crazy. I'm not going to any paid tailgates or anything like that. I'm going to probably just pretty much just go to a bar, do whatever. But and with that, Leon Washington jersey. People usually ask, "Oh, whose jersey is that?" Leon Washington. Got to rock a Leon. Love Leon's one of my favorite Jets of all time. So, getting into Shaq Lawson, backside of duo. Okay, this is Buffalo Bills to running 19. He's going to be right here. Number 90. I think he's wearing 50 for the Jets, right? I don't love defensive linemen who wear in the 50s, to be honest, or even 70s, unless you're like a run-stuffing nose tackle. What was Chris Jenkins? 70, 77, 76, 75? I forget. I think it was 77. I could be wrong, obviously. Admitting it, I forget. But okay, we're watching right here. Backside of duo. We'll run through a lot of these plays relatively quickly, just because like when you get into corners, receivers, offensive linemen, I think it's a little bit more. It's more intricate. Quarterbacks, obviously, linebackers, defensive end, defensive tackle, relatively simple. So you can kind of run through their stuff pretty relatively quickly. It's obviously it's very complex, but in terms of comparative to other NFL positions, it's relatively simple. So here he's not even necessarily involved. But in terms of him stacking his guy, playing the edge, playing the cutback, he does that really well. And here, again, and I've always admitted, at first I'm definitely jumpy with recording plays, whereas later I definitely ease off of recording everything. But in terms of just the stack right here and him holding the edge, obviously good length, or he doesn't have good length, but he plays with good length here. His length, I think his arms are actually average to below average arm length, but plays with good length. In terms of extension, good leverage, gets his hands on, kind of anchors down, rips him to the ground, and is right there. If it was if the running back were to cut the run back, again, pretty simple. There's really not much to break down here. Again, hand placement's good, first contact, and then obviously a little bit of like a push pull right here. So pretty easy. So again, it feels like every freaking time I start a show, it's just text. Whether it be my friends, my wife, my parents, my sister, every time. But then I'll do the show, do all the shit, and then I won't get a text for 3 hours. So it just, for some reason, people know I'm doing shows. It's annoying as hell because I got to look at my phone because if it's work, I got to answer work. Can't people just leave me alone? You know? Let me do my Jets shit. I want to talk to you guys. Right here. The right end, left side of the screen though. Right end, left end, 5 technique, 3-point stance, 1, 2, 3. Just going over the simple stuff. Sometimes I skip over the simple stuff a lot. Just because for the people who have watched enough, I think you get stuff like that, like 5 technique versus 7 versus 4-eye versus loose 3 versus 3 versus 2 versus 2-eye, like 3-point stance, 4-point stance, 2-point stance. Like I think for the most part, a lot of you guys at least get that stuff by now. So sorry if I do skim over that stuff. If you guys have questions, you can obviously always ask, but I do skim over some of the more simple stuff. So right here. The Bills, to me, and you can never be 100% sure, but to me, or I could be pretty damn sure. They did a lot of gap exchanges with their linebackers, and a lot with Tremaine Edmonds, where just simply like you're lined up in an opposite gap. So he's lined up in a C gap right here, and then he's going to exchange gaps with Edmonds, where it looks like he might be responsible for the B gap while he's the A gap, the like the tilted one right here. And they did a lot of. So, sorry, they did a lot of him knifing inside or angling inside to the B gap or whatever gap it may be, with the linebacker scraping over the top to gap exchange. So that's what it looks like here. People might say, "Oh, well, it looks like he read him kind of like hinging on the backside." Could be true too, but to me, it looked like a lot of gap exchanging with the linebacker. So he had the freedom to shoot inside right here, and we're going to see him do that. Obviously, like I said, shoot immediately inside. Again, he's getting right to the backside, or he's filling. There's multiple ways, but it looked like a lot of Tremaine Edmonds doing that with him knifing inside. So obviously, good lateral step. You don't want to step upfield or step towards him, because then you're working kind of into a tight space. You rather take that lateral step because you're working more into space. Obviously, it's relatively simple, right? So take that lateral step, work into that space. Good job dipping the shoulder, the inside, the outside shoulder right here, reducing the contact surface of his chest. Again, you don't want to step inside with your chest wide open. He catches you in the chest, now you're screwed. So you want to dip that shoulder, give him less of an area to punch. Pair that with a rip. Get inside. Running back is forced to cut the run back a little bit, and you're going to see Lawson who slips right here. Looks like he slips, but he's still in position to make a tackle on the running back. So good job, again, reducing lateral step, finding the running back, taking a good angle to the running back, and then making a tackle. Again, in terms of run stuffer, he's above average run stuffer. And pass rusher, we'll talk about it. I think he's an average-ish pass rusher. Don't think he's great, but we're going to see him right here. 3.5 tech. Again, the Bills probably had a little bit more movement than the Jets. I don't think it was a lot of stunts. I think it was a lot of exchanging and twists. There was some stuff. It wasn't overly complex. I think the Jets would be a little bit more simplified, but pretty simple here. Obviously, the idea is, okay, he's 5 tech. He's in a slant inside. He's going to try to pull this tackle, and then you have I think it's Alexander is going to blitz on the edge C gap. So now, because of that, he's going to go against the guard instead of the tackle. Again, typically he does bull rush. His moves are a little bit limited. I think with Miami, he developed some more moves, but he is primarily a bull rusher. And the thing you do not want to do to really any defensive lineman, but especially a bull rusher, a guy who's powerful, is give the chest. And the guard gives the chest. His hands are low. His hands are late. He takes the chest. Sometimes, and this is not the best. This is not an example of it, but in general with Lawson, sometimes you see his elbows flared out a little bit too much. Sometimes you see his hands a little bit too high. So I want to see more consistent hand placement with him. But in general, this is good hand placement, tight elbows, outer pec area. That's fine. Again, you just don't want them too narrow. You don't want them too wide. You want your elbows too flared out. But here, this is good. Leverage is relatively good. Looks to be pretty linear. Extension. And gets to the quarterback, gets at least a pressure. Now, again, oh my God, he didn't get the hit. Okay. Snap, 1, 2, 3, one hitch, ball out. Is it necessarily always easy to do that with movement to get to the quarterback? No. But did he do a decent enough job right here, creating some pressure? But you have to consider the 3-step drop, hitch, throw. Yes. So angles inside, bull rush almost gets there. He does again, a lot of these bull jerks, gets him out of the way. And if he had to hold onto the ball, the coverage is better. It's probably a hit or a sack, but I guess it'd be considered a pressure again. I don't know how PFF and all these sites do their pressures versus hurries versus hits, even hits. I don't know. Like every time he hits, I don't know. Shaq bull refit arm over. Okay. Right here. More of like a 7, a loose 5. Again, I don't give a shit if you're calling somebody a loose 5 because there's no tight end. The tight end is detached right here, so I'm not going to say he's a part of that whole thing in terms of techniques. But there's people who will not call a 7 technique if there's no tight end. Which however you're doing it. So if you want to call him a 7, imaginary tight end, he's a 7. If you don't, call him a loose 5. I'm cool with whatever. I don't really care. So 5, loose 5, 7. Okay, again, another situation. Ball is out pretty quick. 1, 2, 3. One hitch, kind of 2 hitches right there. Ball out. But again, the ball is not. This is when I guess I screwed it up. Or I recorded it twice, which is fine. Whatever. But similar. So, I like his bull rush in terms of 1 step inside, and the 1 step inside right here is going to kind of freeze that inside foot of the tackle. I mean, you freeze the outside foot of the tackle, and now you're getting back outside. Now he's going to kind of have to kick it into high gear to get back outside with his feet, with his kick slide. And now typically they're off balance, they open, etc. And then it kind of frees you up to take their chest, and they're not going to be as sunken down into making it a hard edge to pass. So again, 1 step inside. Freezes his inside foot just a little bit right there. You can see it. Again, like I said, freezes it. Now his chest is open. Now he's kind of leaning a little bit to get it outside. Lawson again takes the chest. That hand's a tiny bit high. You want to see it again. If it's going to be in this area, you want it kind of more into like the thumb into the armpit or even to the outside shoulder. But when you're getting to this area, you sort of get into that range where you're pushing the shoulder down instead of pushing it back. Just a note. So it's a tiny bit high, but you're going to see him bull. You're going to see him refit that hand now. And now again, exactly what we just talked about. It was a little bit to the top of the shoulder. Now he refits it, gets his elbow tighter, and now starts to lift up the pad. So that refitting of just top of the shoulder to lift up the pad, major difference. So good job refitting the hand, lifts him. And now once he pushes him past the level of the quarterback, he's aware of where the quarterback's drop is. You don't want to continue to rush and just rush past the quarterback. So when you kind of can get that range where you push the tackle up to the arc and you can now clear yourself to get flat to get the quarterback, you want to arm over, you want to clear yourself. So he notices that, arm overs, clears the outside arm, gets the hit on the quarterback. So we'll watch it again in full speed from here. After I explain that all. So then it starts to be more impressive. So good bull rush for the most part. Again, it's bull rushes into arm overs, into rips, but a lot of his stuff starts with a bull rush. Shaq refit fork power. Okay. Right here. So he's a 4-eye. One of the things about him is his versatility is good. Where he could play 5 tech. He could play standing up on the edge a little bit. I think people make too much of a difference, to be completely honest, depending on your role of a 4-3 end versus a 3-4 outside linebacker. They do a lot of the same stuff, to be completely honest, but he does have the flexibility to stand up, to drop it into coverages, walls, things like that. 4-eye, 3 tech. He has a strength to play in there. I could see him being a guy who flexes inside him in JFM. Can rotate like that a little bit. Obviously, JFM is probably a little bit better inside than Lawson is, and Shaq Lawson. it gives you some versatility on the defensive line. So he has the ability to do this. So 4-eye right here, 3-point stance. Again, now look at the drop of the quarterback. 1, 2, 3, ball out. So yes, it's going to be hard for him to get a sack here, obviously. But now, did this pressure, did him in his face force switch factor to rip that ball down a little bit and kind of duck for pressure and lean out of that throw? 100% he leans out of that throw because of the pressure in his face. Now, looking at the rush of Lawson, again, step inside. He tries to give him a little crossover type hesitation move again, but doesn't really catch the defensive lineman or the offensive lineman. Gets caught in the chest. Don't love to see that. You'll want to see kind of more proactive hands, but that hand does come underneath. Forks it. That's all it is. Fork. Right arm versus left arm. Lifts them up. Now, again, that right hand isn't landing because they're kind of battling with the inside arms, and the guard is able to refit it. But with just some of his natural power, even though he's not necessarily controlling the chest, only with the left arm, he has contact with the chest. But just his pure power from his base, he's a really thick trunk and power. So even if he's just pushing you with his chest behind or his chest, which is obviously his legs are under that chest, it goes without saying, right? But he still has power, is what I'm saying. Even without good hand placement, he's going to have power. That's kind of what you see here. And this movement of the left hand, that left hand looks like it grabs the shoulder pad or pushes the shoulder pad right there, which kind of throws the guard off and past that allows him that inside angle. You can see it right here. So left hand extension throws the guard off. Now that right hand is going to club, get to him. Now at this point, once he's thrown past, it looks like he just tries to drop off and assist the tackle, the guard. And the guard is thinking that maybe the center is going to pick him up, but I don't. Obviously, it's way too late in the reps, so not a good job of the guard dropping off this. But But now you have Lawson right in the face. Leans out of the throw, rips the ball, misfire because of Lawson's pressure. 6 high hands. You're gonna see it right here. Wide 5, 7. And some of his rushes stall because of this. I think with more consistent, because he has the initial shock on guys when he lands his hands and the power, but when your hands are so high, you're not going to be able to lift and kind of extend your rush, because a lot of like bull rushing, like it's push force, but even more so, a lot of the time it's lift. It's that lift force. Even the long arms, you think about it, you're getting under a guy and you're lifting him. You're not necessarily pushing him all the time. A lot of it's lift. I would say more than 50-50 is probably lift. And when your hands are high like that, you're not really able to lift the guy. So he initially shocks guys and will get them to kind of jump into their anchor and get an initial push on them. But because his hands are high, they stall at times. And here is an example of that. He takes the chest, extension, but look at his hands. See, the hands are really tight together, high into almost the V of the neck, and his elbows are wide. So you're rushing like this. It's hard to when your elbows are flared out, you're not as strong as your elbows are tight. That's 100%. That's just body mechanics. Now, again, when your hands are high and your elbows are flared, your rush is going to stall if they have any type of anchor. So hands high, elbows wide, rush stalls. He's not able to get there. Whereas if he came in lower, and grabbed them in the chest plate, outer pec, inner pec, midpoint of the chest type area, he gets those elbows latched in. He kind of gets that. He grabs the chest plate, quarter turn, just grab, quarter turn. Same thing with the offensive lineman, quarter turn. And it really actually, when it activates, it tightens your elbows, it latches your elbows in, and proven to activate your back muscles, your scapula. So you're even more powerful when you do that quarter turn. Even if you just do it like this, and you kind of like flex in your back to feel that quarter turn, but you could feel it. It just activates another muscle. Again, latches those elbows, hands high, hands too close together. Rush stalls. I kind of talk about the negatives as I talk about the positive with Shaq Lawson in this review. I do that a lot with defensive linemen because he got held up on this rush. It gets really, really boring to watch that for people. So I try to kind of do both at the same time. That's just one play where was a good example of what I'm talking about. Right here, 7 tech versus tight end. The one thing about him is, from what I saw, and again, he's played what? He's been in the league for 5 years, whatever. He's played 80 games. I've watched 8. But I think that's a relatively large sample size. And from what I've watched in those 8 games, he is pretty consistent on the backside of zone, on the backside of power, on the backside of play action, on the backside of nakeds, and on the backside of bootlegs. Read option. He looks, from what I've watched, he's pretty consistent in kind of maintaining his role, not biting on stuff. You see a lot of guys with knife down insider here, squeeze it, and then they get beat. But he's pretty consistent on just staying on the backside. Okay, I know my role. I'm going to stay on the backside. Stays on the backside, doesn't fall for anything. A fake pitch, roll out into a naked. They're going to try a quick hitter with the tight end. And it's like overs type concept with him sneaking underneath. And he does get it to the tight end. Obviously, to be fair, he gets it to the tight end. But Lawson's pretty disciplined and gets a massive hit. Ball out once he's in his last steps. So if this were Tom Brady, if this is Patrick Mahomes, if this is any of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, this is a penalty. But because this is whoever this is is Drew Lock too? I think Drew Lock is too, right? Because this is Drew Lock, it's not a penalty, but he gets absolutely walloped right there. And it's going to make him think twice. But the ball is completed. Good job by him not being a softie and getting rid of that ball, but still, good job by Lawson. He can't control the tight end leaking out like that, and the defense kind of losing him. Easy sack. I just put most of the sacks in here. When they're easy, they're easy. I just want to put them in here. Right here, call him a 7. Again, he's kind of detached, but he's still attached still, but kind of not. Whatever. Right here on the edge, watch it first. Again, he needs to make this play. He does. His tackle radius. So you'd think a guy who, and I'm going to say like his lateral mobility, he's not twitchy, he's not the most loose, but in general with him, while you'd think that all that leads to him not having a big tackle radius, he doesn't miss a lot of tackles. And one that comes from power, he thumps guys, and 2, to me, he looked like he has really strong grip strength. So if he gets a hand on you, you're not getting away. That's what I saw. So he's a good tackle radius for a guy who's not uber athletic. And I'm not talking about it on this play. Maybe you'll see that later. But easy sack here, chases him down. I put it in here just to put it in here because what I wanted to do, and again, I'm early in my review at this point, obviously my 8th play of this review. So I'm thinking, I haven't watched his highlights. I don't know this guy. I haven't heard it. And Kyle Smith brought up a lot, or brought up last night too. I don't know when you're watching this, but Thursday night, I try to watch players before watching anything else about anybody else or looking up stats or whatever. And to be completely honest, I don't really watch anybody's stuff on anybody, depending on who it is, maybe like a high school coach, college coach. Yeah, sure. But gets Twitter, not so much, but I like to watch first and get my own opinion. So I didn't see his stats in terms of, okay, well, did he have the first pressures? Was it second pressures? Was it cleanup sacks? How long did he take to get to the quarterback? So at this point, I'm looking, okay, is he getting Trey Hendrickson sacks? Coverage sacks, long developing sacks, or is he getting Carl Lawson type sacks? He's getting there in 3 seconds. So I recorded that. I'm like, okay, easy sack. Are all of his sacks going to be that of his 6 sacks this year or whatever? So that's why that was recorded, to be transparent. Right here, 4 tech, 3-point stance. Again, relatively simple right here. Again, just the design of this play. He's trying to pull a tackle in. Try to pull a tackle. And then this linebacker's blitzing the C gap. So not a crazy blitz design. You've seen guys be a little bit wider and then try to knife inside here. So it would kind of do more to pull, I think, bowls inside. But nonetheless, he rushes against the guard. The guard does an absolutely terrible job. So you have McGovern. Obviously, this is McGovern's on the Broncos. He checks the linebacker, doesn't blitz. Now he's going to looks like he just sliding. He has a slide protection to his right. The number 66 has to know, just based on the alignment right here. There's 3 guys. cut the defense off at this point. There's 3 guys. He's knifing inside. That's your responsibility for 66. 72 is going to pick up the linebacker, and 87 is going to pick up, what is it called? The Jerry Hughes right there, 55. So I guess 66 just doesn't understand the defense or the offense, and he thought they were in a protection where McGovern was in side protection left, but he was in right. So there's a miscommunication here. He tries to pass off Lawson, and he's still looking at the linebacker. Absolutely terrible job by the guard. Just passes him off. He gets the clear A gap. Good job by Lawson being kind of proactive with his hands, right, with his left hand right here, and just wiping away the drag hand of McGovern, the drag hand right here. Wipes it away, gets to the quarterback, sack. He thumps dudes. Like he's a big hitter, and he will put his weight on you. Even though you're not supposed to, but he's a big hitter. Play 10. Power, but tech. Okay, yeah. Right here, wide 5, 7. You can almost say it's a 9 at this point. I would say more 7 wide 5, loose 5, whatever you want to call it. Again, he gets in there. And obviously the quarterback is brought down really quickly. Ed Oliver gets there pretty quickly. But obviously he wins his rep too. Now in terms of the technique, again, contact window, you want to be more prepared with your hands. For me with Lawson right here, at this point, you're really, really close. You can almost feel his breath. Their almost face mask to face mask, and your hands are down. He gets caught in the chest. So you don't love that. You want to see his hands be more ready for that shoot of the offensive lineman. Now he kind of wipes the hands away, forks them, and more like wipes them up, wipes them away. Gets caught in the chest again. But at this point, his natural power kind of takes over, and his left hand lands onto the outside shoulder of the tackle and just kind of pulls him down, clubs him down, and arm overs. So the technique's not the cleanest, but the power's here. Where even though he's caught in the chest, he's not in the best position. Just this movement, this circular force right here, just kind of throwing him inside, wins him the rep. So not the cleanest, but power's there. Arm over, flatten, get to the quarterback, and obviously because he's being swung around like that, he misses getting contact on the quarterback. But still, a win. Technique not the cleanest. Shaq versus RPO. Okay, right here. Again, pretty disciplined. In terms of, and I'm saying RPO too because it looks like he's just running this orbit motion. He's reading him to the flat. He doesn't look like his eyes are ever on Lawson. So if this guy wasn't a carry him, whatever, he'd pass it. If not, he'd just hand it off. So it's almost like a pass run, not a run pass. But Lawson does a good job just squeezing down on the run while staying square to the quarterback, just in case he does pull it. Again, depending on if it's like a scratch and sniff or a fill and fold, which we'll talk about in different times, but those are different ways of playing zone reads. So sometimes, like let's say, it's a fill and fold just for the linebackers would be he fills, so he's going to come up and then he's actually going to fold over the top to take the run outside. So that's one way of playing like read option, where then he would just be purely purely take the quarterback. Then you have like scratch and sniff, which would be this linebacker, and in this instance, just in this set, him taking the running back. He can be free to take the running back or the quarterback, depending. Not 100% sure, but this linebacker would take the running back, and then he comes over the top. So there's different ways of playing read. So like it's not like if he dives inside or if he takes the quarterback, he's 100% wrong because you have scratch and stuff. You have fill and folds, you have a bunch of stuff. But again, fill, fold, and then you have the scratch and stuff where he would take it, come over the top. Unless I'm scrambled, scratch and sniff. Could be. I think I might be blanking out on that terminology. I don't think I'm wrong. Hold on, give me a second. This is the reason I have notes because that's stuff I'll like blank out like simple stupid shit I'll forget sometimes. Usually I'd pause if this. I don't care to whatever. just checking back, make sure I'm saying those terms right. I have someone shitting here. I don't even know where it is. I'm going to pause it real quick. But we watched that play. Hold on. I'm just going to make sure I got that right. Yeah. Okay. Took me a second, but I found it. Yeah. Scratch and sniff and fill and fold. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Oh, it's really something else. And then you guys say it and then you sound like an idiot. Okay. Next play. Which my guys like who I know there's been people reaching out like, oh, well, how should I do this? And how should I go about learning that? Notes is important. 100%. It's really important. I read books and wrote notes. I watched plays from high school coaches, college coaches. I'll write notes and I try to rehearse it and then remember it and then know it and then see it and then diagnose it. Like you just gotta just build and build and build and build and build. But start with the simple stuff. Don't be like, oh, my first thing, I'm gonna try to go and understand Nick Saban's cover 3 rip Liz. Like don't start with like simple shit, or the different cover 4s or cover 3s or just simple base stuff. Easy stuff. Okay. So I just put it in here because it runs stuff, but good job. I don't love this play design by the Cowboys. It could be an RPO. It'd be a little bit weird though, just based on alignment and where it could have been a handoff all the way. Just like my thinking here is, okay, one, it doesn't look like his eyes are on Lawson. So you'd think if this was an RPO, he's going to try to cut him off or crack him inside. If he cracks him inside, maybe he pulls it. And then he's reading him. I don't know. Maybe he's not reading him. He's just expecting him to either take on the sifter. Like it's not, I can talk about this play for probably 10 minutes. I don't love the design of one, his alignment, two, the read. This is just overly complex for no reason for me. I just don't like this. Again, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty about the Cowboys, this play. We're talking about Lawson, but Lawson again, offensive line, he pinches down on it because they're all going to away from him. So he wants to contain the edge, but he still wants to get in on the play if he can. Sees the handoff, big hit on the running back. Again, he's a thumper. Like I know that didn't look like it was a big hit, and Zeke is a powerful dude, but still he comes in with some force. Really do not like that play design though. That's something with the Jets. If we see that during a game, I'll get into some of the other stuff, but I kind of gave you simple stuff right there, but I didn't love that. Run stuff right here. A little bit blurry on this play. I don't know why. Wide 5, 7. That is not him. Where is he? Okay, sorry. He's right here. I apologize. 5, 6 eye. Versus Tyron Smith, who is one of the better tackles in the NFL. Again, widens. He feels the zone steps of the offensive line, stacks them. Good leverage. Helmet under the helmet of Smith. Hands look to land first and inside. Good job. Stands him up, continues to widen. Pulls himself through. So leverage hands. Stand him up, power. Pull yourself through, free yourself up. Now again, we're talking about some of the tackle radius. Like this is not necessarily the easiest for him to do, but like he just takes really good angles and he always finds a way to bring down the running back. But in terms of a run stuff, like this is why when I heard like, oh, Vinny Curry replacement, this is not Vinny Curry's type of play. Like he's a base 4-3 defensive end who is a good run stuffer, decent pass rusher. Like he fills a role. He's a starting level player in the NFL. He's not a backup. Now what happened with the Texans? Again, the article I wrote, I kind of put it in there. Do I really want to try to get into the mind of the Texans and what they do and where they play guys and trading DeAndre Hopkins for a washed up David Johnson, like a 2nd round pick, whatever it was? Like, let's not try to dive into that. Like we'll try to dive into them and we'll become crazy too. If he was a player he is with the last 2 years that he actually played in NFL games, not preseason, and what he was with the Bills and the Dolphins, I'm pretty happy with the player we're getting. We're 14 plays deep. We still got to go about 30 more plays, but still. Sorry, he's right here. 4 eye right here. So this is like a win, but at the same time, not a win. So gives a little hesitation right there. Now, again, the hands for me, I want to see him at times be a little more forceful with his hands too. Sometimes he tends to like lay his hands on guys instead of really exploding through that contact. And here again with the open chest of the left guard, who I'm not sure who that is. I don't think it's any one of their good guys. I think it's probably a backup. You have Fredericks, Martin, Collins, Smith, and whoever's playing left guard here. I'm not 100% sure who 76 is 2 years ago on their team, but I don't think it's anybody who's overly good. But his hands are wide. Not the best set. Again, I always get into shit with the offense, but nonetheless, takes the open chest. But again, that hand I want to be more forceful. It lands too high and elbow wide. Like I want to be, again, tighter and really, really power through that contact. But this placement, not the best. You're going to see it ends up high. Now the guard is kind of able to get under him. Extension. Now the second part of it, getting, even with that bad placement, getting that extension, power, extension, plan hard, instep, bull, jerk. So bulls him, jerk, inside. Now the center picks him up too, but he's almost there. So again, it's a win. Could have been a little cleaner though. Dumped it off to Elliott. 15. So I'm like thinking to myself, it's so funny. Like I'll do a couple game breakdowns. Like after the season, I'll do like 17 weeks in a row, whatever. And then I'll have my first player review. And I'll be like, shit, do I remember how to do a player review? And then I'll do a bunch of player reviews and I get into a game like, shit, do I remember how to do a game review? You know, but I just thinking to myself, okay, so 90 right here, right end. Again, don't love the play design. No, that bullshit. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't really, at first. I didn't know the sifter was there. The sifter's coming underneath, so that's what the sifter is for. Is to block the D end on the backside of these zone runs. Typically, you don't really see it a lot on like outside wide zone, mid zone, and again, I'll differentiate between all of those. And I will get into that in the future if you have not been listening to the show before. But offensive line going opposite of him, zone stepping. Again, he's containing the edge, but he's going to step down, pinching down on it because he doesn't want it to stay wide because he's not going to involve himself in the play no matter what. But he wants to stay wide enough where he cuts it back. He's still in a good position to not hit him bounce outside. So, but now he's pinching down. What does he see? Obviously, he knows it's an inside zone split. This is a split part of it. And aware, knows where the running back is going, drops his weight, hands out, takes on the sifter, again, with relatively good hand placement. Extension, throws him back. And with him throwing him back, what happens? He tries to anchor down, left leg extends, trips Zeke. And he gets a hand on. So he gets the run stuff, whatever, tackle. So good job. Again, square, know the sifter's coming, extension, blow up the run. He's not a guy in the run game, like in terms of like first choices for the Jets. You don't want to run against Quinton Williams, obviously, and you don't want to run against Shaq Lawson. So for me, just in terms of run defense for the Jets, I would kind of put them at opposite ends. I wouldn't want to necessarily have like, let's just say, and we have the 4-3 overlook right here, which by the way, 5 tech, 1 tech, 3 tech, 5, where the under would be 5, 3, 1, 5, and typically an outside linebacker out there too with over. You probably have the Sam out here somewhere, unless it's I'm assuming the Sam is out here, and if he's not, it's a 4-2-5. But this is an overlook. Just again, I skip over the simple stuff sometimes, but nonetheless, in this type of overlook, I would like it to be a Q Lawson type deal, because I don't want it to be Q and Lawson, because then you probably have like Rankins and Huff, and I want kind of to spread out the solid run stuffers on the team. I don't want them to be on the same side, especially away from the strength, because you'd assume they're going to run to the strength. But continue on. That's just kind of a side note. I would like to see them not next to each other. And it's not to say that obviously if it's like Fadokasi, if it's to look where it's Fadokasi Q Rankins, that's fine. That's completely fine. But sorry for a different day. I'm just talking about if you had Rankins in there or JFM. Sack. Again, comes off the ball, play action. So he jump sets him, more of a 45-degree jump set to sell the play action. Lawson takes that one step inside, notices the aggressive set. You in general with him, sometimes his hands aren't the most accurate, and you'll see hands miss and stuff like that. But here he goes with the double swipe. The inside lands, the outside doesn't really land, but he's angling outside. Now, good job with the double swipe. Wipe that outside of the hand away. Again, just you don't want him to maintain that contact point. You want to have your chest clean. So he wipes it away. Good job with that. Again, just continuing working the hands. And now, again, noticing the quarterback set point. The tackle should kind of know it and sink down a little bit here and not continue to kind of really try to run up the arc, because if he runs up the arc, in terms of Lawson just running up the arc, like where my cursor is, he's out of the play anyway. So the tackle, you'd like to see him kind of set it down more. But Lawson notices a set point. He's not going to bend this edge. And now that paired with him opening his hips to get up the arc, what does he want to do? He's going to club him to get inside and flatten. Club him, inside to flatten. Get the tackle. Or the sack, sorry. Good job. 17 Shaq win. Okay. Win pass rush. Right here. Left or the left end. Or sorry, I was screwing that up before. Right end, left end. I said the opposite before. That's my apologies. That's a stupid thing to screw up. But right end against left tackle, left end against right tackle. That's what it should be. Swatch. Again, is the ball out? Quick 3-step hitch or two and throw. Yes, it's a quick throw. Hell of a job by the receiver, by the way, making that catch through contact and staying up, but not a value, no Cowboys. So this is one of his moves too. When he's rushing the edge, you'll see him do these like swinging rips, which is just the swinging rip is really just dipping your shoulder and taking like a really kind of exaggerated rip. And that's kind of just to give him your chest, like show him your chest. And then you're kind of just dipping your shoulder underneath that arm. And limiting that contact window. So you're kind of really just dipping underneath the punch is a swinging rip. So coming into that window, swinging rip, really low and exaggerated. Now bend, and the good thing about him too is what you're seeing in his strengths and weaknesses at the end. We're probably at a listener or the subscriber only portion right now. You'll see me say power through contact. And what I mean by that is guys who are like bending or trying to penetrate a gap. When guys have hands on, whether it be their shoulder, their hips, like he does right here with Tyron Smith with the right hand on the hip. A lot of guys who aren't strong through contact, don't have that power through contact, they'll get pushed up the arc. It's really important for me to have power through contact because you're not going to win cleanly every time. More often than not, you're not obviously going to win cleanly. It's the NFL. If you get a sack a game, you're getting paid $20 million a year. So a lot of times you're going to have that power through contact. And even with Tyron Smith's hands on his hip right here, he's able to flatten out pretty well. You see that? A lot of guys are going to get completely moved right here, but he has a lot of power to flatten. Now, yes, Dak kind of notices that pressure and steps up a little bit, takes an extra hitch or two. But overall, I'm still going to give him pressure right here and a good play versus Tyron Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, didn't win it, but there's a positive to take away there, clearly. If you can't, then I don't know. I'd severely doubt you're watching this channel if that's how you evaluate football, to be completely honest. Four-tech right here. Again, it's just heads up with the tackle. Four-tech. Again, they run not the most typical TE stunt, but you have a TE. So he's going to kind of, in a typical sense, he would be like a 3 right here, or maybe even a 3, but like a 2I, and try to carry the guard, and then pick the tackle. But in this situation, a little bit different, just in terms of alignment. So he's going to kind of just penetrate and hope that the guard is in like a slide and picks him up for too long. So it's a little bit of a different look in terms of one of these like TE stunts. But it kind of still works. Because again, typically you just want cross face, carry, pick, cross. But he engages with the guard, which now he's putting a little bit more emphasis on this look's putting a little bit more emphasis on the D end, not closing too much grounding and being able to get over the top and scrape inside. But nonetheless, who cares? So rushes against the guard again. His outside hand tends to land a little bit wide. Now, could have that been he meant to club? I think if it was him meant to club, he would have done it with a little bit more urgency to club. To me, it looks like more they kind of met each other helmet to helmet, and then he just made a quick adjustment right here and went with the club and stepped through. So I like that. Okay, he didn't win here. This is not ideal position for him, but just kind of having a natural feel for the play at this point. He feels that the B gap is open. His hips at this point are cleared. And I saw something, by the way, I don't know who this was say. I talk about like hips a lot. I think maybe somebody commented on my videos like, oh, you talk about hips and clearing guys, and hips are really important in football. They are. So yeah, I talk about hips a lot, but you need to. So I could say, okay, he's cleared his level. I'm not going to say hips, I guess, anymore. I'm obviously bullshitting you. I'm going to say it because it's important. Which, by the way, with that, so we talk about hips, and then I'm not going to say who it is. If you know me, maybe you know, but I think I was reaching out to a couple different people like a couple of years ago, and just talking about football and like what should I do and all this stuff. And somebody actually told me to be more simple. I'm not going to say who the name is, but I said, hey, you should really kind of, I'm not going to mention the names who are more simple, but really simplify stuff and just say like maybe on this play say, hey, look at his power, look at him with that club and he wins and he chases down Prescott. He doesn't get the sack, but really good play. And that would be the end of it. They told me to simplify my stuff. Bullshit. And here we are now with subscribers and JetX, that's why you kind of stick to your guns. So I like the adjustment here of now placing the hand onto the back to club him. And with that, clearing his level with that step through. Because if he didn't pair this club with him stepping through, he's never going to clear that level if he just stayed square here. Now he's just fighting and trying to just kind of yank him, pull him, jerk him. Instead of clearing himself with that step through. So good adjustment, hand on the back, step through with that crossover right here. Flatten. Again, Prescott is on the run and throws it to Amari Cooper, but still a win by Shaq Lawson right there. I think I told a couple people who I said that was. We'll just simplify my shit. Make it a lot easier on me, right? Not study and put out, 2-minute Twitter clips like somebody does, gets thousands of retweets, which is beyond me. Yes, I'm salty. So right here, wide 5, 7. This is one of his better games. Again, didn't get a ton of I don't know, QB hits or pressures or whatever, but overall he played pretty well. Again, in terms of his win right here, not the cleanest win. He does get caught in chest, but because of the distance, it's not necessarily the strongest punch from the right tackle, and he's able to wipe it away, swipe it away. Swipe is more lateral down, or more lateral, where chop is more down, where wipe is more up for me. Just it's how I kind of differentiate. So swipes it with 2 hands. Now what does he notice? Again, at this point in the rush, is he going to with the tackle's feet and body position where he is, he's really ready to play the arc right here, play an outside rush. So he notices that. He has a good feel for that in rushes. So he knows he's not going to the outsider here. So what does he do? Put on the brakes, hand onto the back. he's running outside. He's racing up the arc right here. So where is he weak? With him running outside, the inside. So Lawson feels that, puts on the brakes, inside club, get inside. Get the hit on Dak Prescott, who again delivers a ball to 18 over the middle. But again, for Lawson, this is a win. Obviously it's a win. If he had to hold the ball there, if the coverage was better, it's a hit, it's a sack, it's whatever. QB hit. Okay. Right here, 5-tech, 4-point stance now. Recorded that play too long. Okay, so he comes off the ball. And they're just in a this is just a blitz. It's not like a tag rush. I'll talk about tag rushes in a future show. But they sugar the A gap and I'll talk about it really quick right now. Just with the linebackers, I'm not going to talk about everybody else. The tag rush, what they would do right here is they'd both blitz the A gap. Whoever's not picked up by that center, if they tag it, whoever's not picked up by that center drops into coverage. But with this, it looks like they're in a 3-jet protection, and just 3-jet center is going to slide to the right side. Other side of the line is going to slide left. Running back fills for linebackers, so it's like a bob. It's like a bob. What is it called? Like line where you have man blocking. You have bob, which is typically like man you have man, you have slide. And in man, typically guys are matched up against one another, and then the running back takes a linebacker. You have slide, which is just more of zone blocking. You have combination, which is more of what this is, where you have a slide and him on the backer. There's a bunch of different ones. Then you have 3-jet, 2-jet, slide left, 2-jet, 3-jet, slide right, running back filling. We'll get to all that in the future. I've learned a couple protections. There's 1,000 out there, but being pretty simple. There's man, zone, and then combination of man and zone. But this looks like 3-jet, him filling, slide right, and with him sliding right and the blitz off the edge, again, it's not man where, it's 1-1-1. It's more of zone blocking, so you have to feel it with these guys. And what's happening here is Lawson's not picked up because they're overloading the right side of the line with him filling. Now he's kind of out of position, and you have 4 against 3 with him too far inside. So Lawson kind of gets lost in the shuffle right here, and the right tackle notices the blitz off the edge, which, if anything, again, you want to pick up inside to outside, not outside to inside, because inside's more obviously a quicker angle to the quarterback. He kind of gets lost in the shuffle in the B gap. The right tackle tries to pass him off, tries to kind of pick up 2 guys at once. The guard isn't able to do it. And Lawson, again, does a good job of getting in there, club the running back, who is not obviously picking it up well. Big hit on the quarterback. So, again, sorry for all the – not sorry, actually. You guys, I'm sure, want to know about the Manning combos and Bob and 2-jet, 3-jet. So, but good job with Lawson right there, engaging too. Just engaging, just clearing himself up. Big hit. Okay, 21 of 43. We're about halfway through. Okay. Shaq pressure. Right here. Again, forces the rollout, forces the bad throw, forces him to get outside, which again leads to a hit by whoever comes from outside, 98. But in terms of Lawson with this rush, left tackle tries to get out on him. Left tackle's Villanueva at this point, still 78 from them. Who's a good left tackle? I believe it's Villanueva. I could be wrong, but rushes outside again. Just noticing. You have to notice drops. You have to notice drops of the quarterback. You have to notice kick slides. And in this situation, he sees the quarterback shallow, notices that he's outside. What's open right here? Massive gap in the B gap. Does he want to continue to stay outside right here where he's really set against outside? No. So he doesn't do that. Plants, crosses his face, club with the inside arm, rip up, club, rip up. And again, what that's doing is that right tackle's, right arm, or sorry, left tackle's right arm is what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to wrench him, which basically what that means is right hand inside, left hand is going to go into the lower of the back, and now he's going to kind of push with both hands. It's going to stand Lawson up. But now that what that rip prevents is that kind of those pushes to straighten out the spine. So now you rip up that arm. It's going to lift the elbow, and now there's no strong contact point. So he's not going to stand you up. He's almost going to push you into the quarterback. That rip is really preventative. Rips are very preventative, and they help you as a lever point. There's a bunch of stuff that they do, but in this situation with him trying to wrench him, which is exactly what the tackle's supposed to do when he's beat like this, that rip prevents it. Strong power through contact, power through two guys, dives, quarterback's able to stay up, but again, obviously forces the pressure. So we'll watch one more time. Good stuff. Okay. All right. Continuing on, pause it for a second. Pressure. Okay, we're on 22. Run stuff. Dent post. Okay. There's going to be a combo. What's most likely going to happen? I forget this play exactly, but they're going to combo block him right here on the backside. They're going to combo him on the backside. He's the high leg, and the high leg is going to initially probably in this case take a near step and then try to climb to the linebacker, whether that be or the back safety, whoever he's going to climb to. He's the post. So you either want to knife through it, dent the post. You can take on the high leg too, but typically you want to dent the post. That's the guy who's kind of designed to take you on. But regardless, so he's in dent the post right here, which is a tight end in this combo. Yeah. He uses like a ricochet, the guard. Kind of rocks. Yep. But a good job by Lawson kind of noticing it. Denting the post. Just take it on the one guy. He's not going to try to split it. He's just going to take on the one guy. Extension, hands in. Or, sorry, just hands inside. And he's strong enough to take on the initial contact. Like you could see, obviously, the right tackle doesn't get the best contact into him. Or sorry, the extra tackle. They have an extra tackle on. The extra tackle doesn't get the best contact, but still really strong. That doesn't really affect him. Powers, eyes up on the running back, eyes up on the running back. Sees he's cutting outside. Jerk him inside. Jerk him, lower shoulder, stand him up. So hell of a job denting the post right there. And then just staying aware of the running back. So really good run stuffer. He's definitely a really good run stuffer. That is for sure. 23, sack thump. Right here. He's like a 9. Call him a 9 now. Call him a wide 7, loose 7. Either way, though, he's definitely not a 5. Again, just situational here. Widens, tight end kind of trips and releases, widens about a little bit. And what is he going to notice again? At this point, is he going to get all the way around to the quarterback? No. So he's going to flatten, try to win inside. Flattens. Now that's paired with the quarterback stepping up with some pressure and starting to scramble. And now Lawson is running full speed at a flat angle and just absolutely wallops the quarterback. And the good thing about this too is that's like, it'll probably go like unnoticed a little bit, but you see how he reaches for the ball right there? Sees that ball loose, reaches for it, rips it down, and it rips the arm down and away from the ball. So really good job with the sack force fumble right there. Just being aware in the moment, one of kind of the play and where the quarterback is and where his relationship is to the tackle, and also ripping the ball out. and obviously absolutely laying the wood on the quarterback. Just he folds him, just absolutely folds him. Love it. I'm sorry, offensive football, but watching a quarterback take an absolutely massive shot, as long as it's not Zach Wilson, I love it. Okay, squeeze tech meh. Right here, wide 5, loose 5, 7. Again, situation where he creates pressure and makes the quarterback step up into the pocket, into a sack. So good job by him. Now, in terms of the technique, it's okay. He does get caught in the chest. Both of the hands land. It seems, at least the right hand of the tackle lands inside. So not necessarily best in terms of letting those hands land, but in terms of landing his hand, being low, and now, but now in terms of, again, hand inside, low, and him controlling that elbow, lifting up, kind of forking it, it's not that bad. So I said that when I initially recorded it. It's really not, the technique's not that bad. It's okay. It could be a little bit better. Keep himself completely clean, obviously, but overall, leverage hands inside, forking that outside arm just a little bit, kind of doesn't necessarily land as cleanly as he wants to, but you see the power, you see the leverage, power, almost gets the quarterback. He gets a hand on, again, forces a step up, sack. Good play. Just squeezing down on the quarterback like that. Shaq rush, but hands, okay. Let's see if I was wrong that time. Oh, now we're going to the Dolphin stuff. So again, 7, loose 5, wide 5. I just say both of them, just like whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. It's not like you're wrong either way. Some people call that a 9. You can reach for a 9 a little bit there if you want to. Whatever. Again, I don't really care as long as you're consistent with what you call it. So again, rushes the arc. The thing again with his hands, sometimes they're when he tries to swipe guys, they're a little bit too like extended. Where when you're extended and you're just kind of going with your hand, either when you're swiping or chopping down, when you're extended, you're kind of giving yourself less of a surface area to make contact with the elbow. So an extended hand, you can only hit with the hand. When you when you time it better, when you're better positioned to swipe away the hands or to chop the hands, when you're coming down with more of a 90-degree angle with your forearm and you're trying to wipe, if you're going with like more of like the wrist area to try to wipe the hands away, swipe the hands away, chop the hand, whatever, you're giving yourself the flexibility of now hitting from anywhere from your elbow to your wrist. When your hand extended, if you miss his level, you're going to wipe right past him. So I hope that maybe I didn't explain that the best, but that's what I'm saying. When your hands to be more tight and more 90-degree angle than extended. So here you're going to see him miss. He with that right hand. Now the left hand comes inside for that stab. So he's trying to stab, wipe away, and then just bend with that long arm. But the right hand misses. So that happens a decent amount with him. You want to see the hands be more accurate and just kind of cleaner technique. You see, again, it's too extended. It's onto the shoulder, so it's not really doing much. But now in terms of leverage, this is a strong contact point. Instep, maybe a little bit on the ball of the foot. But in terms of, again, leverage right there, it's good after that point. So the right hand's good. The left hand is good inside. The right hand could have been a little bit cleaner. Power through contact. Gets a hit on Minshew, but the ball is obviously out really quickly. So we continue on. Tight end, no chance. Yeah, run game, you're trying to block him with a tight end, especially if it's on the front side. I'm not sure if this is on the front side. There are very little, if any, tight ends who could block him consistently in the league. It's just not going to happen. He's just too powerful. He's powerful for tackle. He's powerful for tackles. So for tight ends, there's not really a shot. This is on the backside. Or sorry, the front side. I was looking at him and thought that was Lawson. So it was great with Lawson and the Bills because he wore the only like sleeve. He looked different. Where 91 sometimes looked the same as him. which I think is Agba last year, right? But here, okay, so he's on the front side, like I said. Again, more of like an outside linebacker position, but it could be just a stand-up end too. Like it's not that much different for me, to be completely honest. But nonetheless, let's watch again. I don't, it's not smart to run at him with a tight end blocking him on the front side. It's just not. They run like an inside zone. And what he does, again, is good job setting the edge here. He doesn't necessarily want to dive inside and then let him have the edge. So good job initially setting the edge. Extension, hands inside. Now what does he do? Maintains that extension, eyes into the backfield. At a certain point, he's either going to see the running back committing inside, or he's going to feel that the running back's cutting inside. Because if he stayed here for 4 seconds, he doesn't see the running back cutting inside, obviously he's inside. So you have to kind of feel that. If he doesn't see it, either sees it or feels it, crosses the face at the perfect time, hand comes up, swipes it down, flattens, crosses the face. Good job flattening, wiping away the hand. Tackle on running back. Do not want to run on his side as an opposing team with just a tight end blocking him on inside zone. There's just I do not see that being smart at all. So not the best call. Run stuff. Okay. He's right here, 5 tech, tight 5, really tight 5. Again, what happens? He's on the backside. Offensive line zone steps. He's just trying to maintain the left tackle, that inside leverage on him, that positional leverage. He steps inside. Lawson, again, good job in terms of making that first contact, landing his hands on, decent leverage. Again, really good run in the run game. Now, after he does that, what do you want to do? Work off your insteps, which is the most powerful point. Again, you don't want to work on the balls of your feet, on the heels of your feet. Works against your natural lever point when you go, or works with your natural lever point when you go in steps. Now you're not working with your natural lever points of your knees. So it's obviously more powerful to be on insteps. So insteps, extension, eyes in the backfield. See, obviously the running back is committing to the front. He's not completely just bending his run back. So he's in a shed. Extension, jerk him down, pull him, run to the running back. So again, just overall good technique, good leverage, good hand placement, good awareness of the running back, good shed, find them, flatten, get on tackle. I think what he's providing in terms of the run game is even bigger for this defense than what he's providing in the pass rush. While the pass rush, if you have to choose one or the other, is good, you'd rather have the pass rush, but he's going to make more of an impact as a run defender, which is important for this defense, like I kind of said at the beginning of this review. So let's watch the play. Again, coming off the left side, right, or the right side of the defense, the left side of the offense. And again, rushes up the arc. Good job with the hand inside. I'm cool with that. Again, the one time I criticized it, it was too high on the shoulder. But when it's in that armpit area, that's that armpit, outer pec, I'm cool with it. So good hand placement. It's not too high. Extension. I can't tell exactly where the right hand lands, if it's outside shoulder, inside shoulder, whatever it is. But obviously, I'm just looking at the inside. The extension right there is good. Now, there's a lot of room. He's going to wipe away the hands, swipe the hands. You see a double swipe. Swipe down, chop down. Now he's going to reach through, rip. So this is good technique overall. It really is. Bull. Again, he started to stack moves and have more counter moves in Miami. So I think he learned some stuff going to Miami, to be completely honest. And he wasn't necessarily as productive, but he kind of stacked moves more a little bit better. So I like that. So extension, double swipe, reach through with the rip. Again, you don't want to open up your chest. You don't want to give them to it. You don't want to give them it. So with that outside hand that's trying to contain them right now, you want to rip through that, lift it up, rip through it. Again, hand on the quarterback. Forces them to step up. There's no interior pressure. If that's the Jets, most likely a sack. But nonetheless, it's going to happen with the Jets. Not going to get there every time. But still, a good play by him. Almost brings on the quarterback. He gets out, forces the roll out. Now it's a ball incomplete. Yep, see? Pressure sucks. Screws up quarterbacks. 29. Fork bull. Okay, we're seeing right here. Going against the left tackle. Loose 5, wide 5. Again, his bull rush, it can be cleaned up a little bit at times, but overall it's definitely pretty good. So I'm not gonna talk about the tackle. It's just not the best technique. Let's just say that. But in general, can't necessarily tell where the outside hand lands of Lawson. Looks like it might land to the elbows, kind of both hands on the elbows. So he's kind of controlling the elbows a little bit. And then it's not like they're necessarily clean. Like this is, his hands are high right here, et cetera. He's not completely controlling the chest of the hands, but his kind of natural power just takes over at this point when neither of them have really good positioning, leverage, et cetera. And he just initially doesn't have, again, good spot on him. And let's see what he does after. Looks like after initially not having good hand placement, he now lands his hand inside right here and kind of jerks him, pulls him inside or holds him inside. Hit on Minshew. Again, not the cleanest play. Like if you look at it, like here's not the cleanest, but he has natural power where even if he's not necessarily controlling you, his power from his legs and just kind of leaning into you with his chest, it's going to move you back. So I didn't mention, but yeah, that inside hand forks the tackle a little bit at first. Shaq spin. Okay, right here. Not the biggest spin type guy. But we're going to see right here. He's the right end. Obviously it forces a pressure and all of this dancing around and then chases Minshew down for the hit. Ends up in a almost an interception, actually, where the ball wasn't intercepted there somehow. But I'm trying to think how to go about this. When guys are wide like this, if you know the tackle sets, and if he's going to 45 the reset, and you know the tackle's either going to shoot with two hands or cheat a little bit outside, having a counter inside is a really good idea. If this tackle were to be a little bit more inside of an out guy or inside out guy, an inside spin's not going to be the best move. So this could be film study, could be just the natural feel over the game of what the tackle's doing. But he rushes up the arc. He anticipates, obviously, the two-handed punch. Now, with two-handed punch, racing outside, feet open outside, hips open outside, the inside is the weak point right now. So he's going to time those hands, plant off the outside, chop, or chop both the hands down, spin. Good job with the ice pick. Right here, kind of just controlling that arm and throwing himself inside that ice pick with after the spin is important. Get inside. Obviously, the I think it's Norwell, the left guard, drops off from the inside to help him. He trips. You love the effort of him to get back up. Again, he is a decent effort player, solid effort player. Chases down Minshew. Now, in terms of the spin, could have been a little bit cleaner. In terms of him, like you do want to get really tight and you do want to see, again, better hand placement. Like you'll see guys who, if they're anticipating this, they'll have like more choppy, like read steps and they'll plant as they're chopping. He kind of chops and then plants and he's not tight. So it could have been cleaner. And in terms of the chop, it kind of slips in between the arms and it doesn't necessarily land cleanly. Like this is not the cleanest chop, as you can see. It's not really forcefully moving that arm down. So you'll see guys who are really good with it. We'll give you some stutter steps, plant while they're chopping, completely destroy those hands, and then spin inside while they're a little bit tighter. And when you're a little bit tighter, what that does is you're just inside quicker. So if he was like more hip to hip here, he would win inside cleaner and he doesn't really have to fight the contact, where because he's not as tight on that spin, the hands don't land cleanly. Again, it could clean up a little bit of the spin move here. It's not a Dwight Freeney spin move. He wouldn't have to work against this now if he was tighter and he defeated those hands better. But nonetheless, it's a decent spin move. Gets inside, and then the effort part, it's probably even the better part of this entire play. You love effort, or I love effort. I remember probably the hardest I've criticized people was after that Rams. I was doing the joint review and watched the Rams in the Super Bowl, and they weren't running to the ball. I almost lost my mind. I don't know how their coaches forgave some of those players. They're not running the Super Bowl. Are you crazy? Like Super Bowl. It's the last game. You have 5 months off after this. Ish. Not really. Football players have to work out year round, but still. Right end right here against left tackle. Okay. Rushes up the arc, this is just the arc. The hand of the tackle is drag hand. Left hand's kind of out there for the taking. So he takes that hand with a fork, forks it, tight elbow, underneath his elbow. You're going to lift it up. Now, instead of chopping it, wiping it, swiping it, whatever you want to call it, or again, they're all different to me. Now he's just going to lift it up with that fork. So left hand inside, right hand fork it up, lift with the inside. Now he's just going to power through contact and take that edge. Again, get the pressure to hit whatever on Minch right there. I didn't watch if he actually contacted him, but still good play by him. Ball's out quick. Shaq club. Okay, right here. A lot of right end type stuff with the Dolphins. Again, like, he played 4-3 outside linebacker. How much different does this stuff look than the Bills? It's not overly different. It's really not. Again, he gets in the play, but there's other guys who get there quicker. So he rushes more inside directly at the right tackle. Can't necessarily tell exactly where his hands land. This right hand, if you're looking at the right hand of Lawson, looks to land a little bit high. So it looks like another situation. Like I played I showed before, he's a little bit high. Hands are a little bit high. He initially contacts him, which blows the tackle back a little bit. And then after that, he kind of readjusts his hand, refits his hand, clubs, and gets inside. So not the cleanest right here, but now after that initial contact, he has the awareness to refit that inside hand, club him, get inside. Club, arm over. There's a difference between swims and club arm overs for me. Again, swim is more chop, grab, and pull through, where club is more, again, club, arm over. There's just a difference. There's an extra step with swim moves to me. People call club, arm over swims, but then what do you call a true swim? I guess a chop swim? I don't know. But I call lots of club arm overs. Then I've heard players, even like top 100 players, call them club arm overs too, or just arm overs. I like to differentiate. People just call swims club arm over. Again, I already said that, but like a swim right here would be chop with this hand, pull or grab with this arm, and then pull himself through, where again, there's a difference. So good job refitting, getting inside. Would have got there, but obviously 2 guys are there quicker, but still a good club arm over from him. Another club arm over. Okay, see. So he is right here, tight 5, Dwayne Brown. Again, rushes more inside initially. Inside, outside. Now, because of it's like another 2-jet right here, where they're sliding center, left tackle sliding left, right guard, right tackle sliding right. He's picking up the linebacker. So the 2-jet. And he's taking some liberties, this tackle, to be honest, shooting at the inside because he knows he has this guard. So that's why he's doing that, because he knows the protection. So he was initially setting outside in case this guy blitzed. He knows he has a guard, Ayupati, I think. Inside. Is that Ayupati? Yeah, it looks like Ayupati, right? Is he still playing? Or am I completely wrong? I think his brother or some shit? I don't know. Takes some liberties, just shoots with the inside arm. Looks like it lands. But you have Lawson, who again is kind of noticing the open gap right here, and him setting more outside. So this is the open spot. He doesn't want to try to get completely outside right here. Again, he's just not the flexible, bendy player type to do that. So he has to know how to win. Notices the inside again. The hand lands, power through it, club, arm over. Ayupati's not there because he just dropped the hammer on the tackle. Gets inside, massive hit on Wilson. He's a big hitter. He's not a guy you want hitting your quarterback. That is for sure. You don't want anybody hitting your quarterback, but especially not Shaq. Sack stride. Okay. Right right here. I'm assuming he's going to shorten stride and get inside. I don't remember, but based on how I labeled that, that's what I would guess. Okay, no, that's not what it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, he's tackle radius. He's not the most athletic player, but when he gets his hands on you and he's so powerful that it's hard for you to get away from him. It is. But okay. So everybody's zone steps. Again, he just pinches inside, works through the contact of Disley, which again, he's super powerful. But the thing I like about him here is he looks at the mesh point of the quarterback and the running back, the mesh point of the handoff. Eyes, you can see his eyes are low. It's on that mesh. It's on that ball. He notices the ball is sticking with Wilson, so he's not just going to continue to crash down on the running back. So now what he does is it's a really little thing, but I do like it. He's trying to bend and he shortens his stride. There's some guys who would just kind of elongate their stride or keep on their stride, and then he would probably trip right here. But I like it's kind of like a little conscious decision to try to bend it back outside and kind of keep himself clean right here. It's little, but I do want to mention it that he shortens his stride right there. Something super, super small. But now with the pressure in Wilson's face, he tries to kind of move to his right. Shaq's not in the easiest position right here, getting contacted and trying to grab Russell Wilson in this position, which was an arm tackle. But again, his grip strength is so freaking strong, and he's so strong that you just do not get away from him. So he doesn't have a good tackle radius, again, by athleticism, because that's usually what long arms athleticism usually dictates a tackle radius. But if you can get your hands on guys and your grip strength is absurdly strong and it can't be broken, that's kind of how he has a good tackle radius. I think he gets hurt there. He probably just pulled his shoulder out of his socket. He probably just popped it back in real quick. That's probably what happened. With an arm tackle with a 200-something-pound guy running against your arm, you could knock that thing right out of the socket. Pull it right out of the socket. Right here. 9 tech, 7 wide 7, loose 7. Again, pretty self-explanatory, not necessarily self-explanatory here, but rushing wide because of the tight end and where he's set. When he's rushing wide, the tackle, which is 73 Jonah Williams, he got back healthy this year. I think 73 Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams is setting a pretty hard edge for him to get to, again, quicker set, notice the set. If he's setting outside, it's going to be hard for you to bend around and get there in time. So what's the quickest route to the quarterback? Inside. Especially in this situation where he opens up with kind of like heel clicks and open up outside. Lawson kind of feels that. Inside club-ish, kind of lifts him, club, it's a mix. But gets a hand on the shoulder, again, perfect area. That's fine. If it's in the shoulder pad, armpit, cool with it. Especially when you're trying to get to the inside. Now you're pushing his frame and his midpoint past you. Where if you're inside, it's going to be harder to push him up the arc. So when you're trying to club, get him inside, it's kind of the best hand place you can have, minus, really under the armpit. Shoulder pad's fine. Bicep up to shoulder pad. Lift, club him inside, punch through the inside arm, get it on the quarterback, and get the pressure, whatever. 36. Easy run stuff. Okay. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. 4, really tight 5. I'll call either way. I'd probably call him a 4 if I had to be nitpicky. I'm not nitpicky, but just whatever. Steps upfield, zone steps, guard takes him on. Again, good leverage, extension with the hands, lands the hands, puts his helmet right into the kind of the chin, a little bit under the tackle or the guard. Extension, really good extension and power. So he stacks him. Great job stacking him. This position is pretty much the best position you can be in. You'd like to see him maybe be a little bit more linear and up through him instead of standing up and then leaning into it. So you can criticize that a tiny bit, but in terms of hands inside, extension, insteps, I was super nitpicky with that, but I pointed it out for a reason. So with eyes in the backfield, so sees the running back's angle, knows getting outside, leverages himself outside, clears the outside arm. Again, that grip strength of him is pretty ridiculous, and gets it on the tackle of the running back. 7 more plays. Swinging rip again. You see him right here. He's just going to really elongate it. That rip. Dip his shoulder down. Yep. So knows he's going to rush to the outside. He's setting inside a little bit harder here. You see now he's kind of playing more inside outside. It's going to be hard for him to get inside. Swinging rip. Dip that shoulder. You want to be more like, elbow. I can't really see exactly where it is. We want to lift it up again, eliminating that contact point, kind of more of a containment wrench. He's going to try to wrench him. Lift it up, bend through contact or power through contact, get the hit on the quarterback again. Balls out really quickly, and like whatever that was, a snag, a hitch, stop. Power through contact again. Right here. Wide 5, loose 5, 7, 9. Pretty similar situation. Not the best set from the tackle right there, to be honest, from Jonah Williams. If that is Jonah Williams, I don't like him opening up right immediately like this. Just because you're not now he's kind of working more past hands instead of hands under hips, hands under base. So he's just going to take the outside because he's obviously really inside-outside relationship for him to cross his face. At this point, it's not going to be easy, obviously. So he's going to take the outside. And kind of a swinging rip. He kind of like punches through more. Just try to like clear his inside shoulder. So it's like a rip, but not necessarily the best rip. But he just takes it. Like it comes up now, so it's not the cleanest. But it does its job. Power through the contact. Gets in maybe gets a hand in, whatever. It's a pressure sack. Half a sack. I don't know what he got there. I'm running through the last plays relatively quickly because I know you guys, you get the player he is now. So I tend to do that. At first I spend a little bit more time and I try to run through it. Right here. Wide 5, 7, 9. Again, not going to be crazy about it. Again, I do like his awareness when he's rushing. He really does keep his eyes on the quarterback and is aware of set points and things like that. So starts inside angle more, rushes the outside. Again, the chop doesn't land. He tends to miss on those. I want to see it again. His hand either be more patient with your hand or come not as flat of an angle with your arm. Again, giving yourself more room to miss and still be right, kind of. But he rushes up the arc. Again, he's probably going to end up throwing a rip if the quarterback continue to drop, but his eyes are on the quarterback, and he realizes the quarterback is going to start to step up in the pocket. What does he do? Plants hard and angles inside and gets the sack. So there's not really much in terms of a rush here. Like he doesn't do not the best here, just power. You see the power. Now, the one thing I do like, I can't tell where the left hand is of him. I can't tell if it clubs. I can't tell what it does. The one thing I do like with the right hand is you could see him consciously take that right arm, plant, and now that right arm kind of just widens, and that's again kind of trying to break that contact point of the tackle's left hand, which allows him to get inside. You see right there? It's all about hand fighting. You have to be a friggin' ninja to be a defensive lineman, and it obviously gets the sack on. I forget what his name is, the quarterback. Top of my head. 4 plays, sack. I want to differentiate Lawson. I don't want to put Lawson because if I type Lawson in for something else, I'm going to get freaking confused, and it's going to be both Lawsons. I'm going to figure out which one. No, I just put Shaq for all of his stuff. Right here, he's a 4-tech, heads up with a tackle. Pretty simple. Just because he's heads up. Not just because he's heads up. He plants inside. What's that going to do? Similar situation to before. It's going to freeze that foot, the inside foot. Not the best footwork from the tackle. The tackle is going to anchor down or not anchor down. He's going to root down, which is just running his feet, foot fire. Just trying to stay kind of flexible to move inside, outside because they're heads up. Or if he was outside, he'd kick slide outside because he's heads up again. He's going to root down. He roots down. Now, I don't like his footwork in terms of being so wide, in terms of him going to drop his post. And because his feet are wide and his feet aren't good, he gets, again, too wide, and now he's not on balance. So I don't like his feet being so, or his base being so wide right there. But Lawson, again, crosses over, one step inside, get outside. Now he comes with the chop again. Now see his angle. Now his angle is a little bit more 90 degree. Now it lands in the elbow instead of it being more flat. So you can see it land right there. It lands. It's not necessarily the most forceful chop, but it does break the elbow a little bit. Rip through, and it acts as a pivot point too. So not only does it lift the arm and defeat that contact point, it also acts as like a post for you to turn around, a post for you to turn. So like obviously, like you ever play like tag, or you're running away from somebody and you're trying to turn around a wall. If you use that wall to pivot around, it makes a big difference, obviously, right? So a rip also works in that way. So good job with the chop again. It could have been a little bit more forceful, but it kind of still breaks that contact point, rips through, power through that contact, power bend, sack on the quarterback, who is not having fun right here. That looks, I can't tell if it's his teeth. That looks like a pain face. That hurt. 3 plays. Shaq versus power zone. Again, you don't want to run necessarily power zone on him. Power zone, they're going to bypass him. Again, so now this offensive line might be like combo, zone block inside. These guys are probably going to work to the backside. He's probably going to work to the linebacker unless they're working to the middle, and he's working up to the like apex, whatever, right here. And then they're going to power zone him. So he's not even in the play for this. Is just strictly man blocking right here with everybody else zoning. So power zone. Let's see how they do it. Yeah, that's how they did it. Okay, so zone to him, backside he's going to climb. Okay, so good scheme. The problem with it is you're running at Lawson, who is being blocked who's trying to be kicked out by a fullback. So notices that. Good leverage. Again, you can see him really consciously get low, elbows tight, hands inside, extension, peeks his helmet inside. So now the running back most likely, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, please have a big year this year because I have it in fantasy. Peeks inside. He stays inside. But good job by him too. Sorry, I'm getting like a bunch of texts and shit now. Okay. So good job with Lawson in terms of setting the edge here too, because you don't want him to just pinch down this hard unless like they had like an exchange where somebody's going to get outside. But he doesn't want to just completely commit inside because then he's going to bounce the run out. If anything, you want to play outside in and make him obviously come inside cut where there's going to be more defenders to clean it up. So good job by him, not only getting leverage, extending, but widening. You see him widen, but peek inside. So now he's playing inside-outside or outside to inside, but he's playing both. Or if he just pinched down on this, he's going to cut outside and it could be a big run. So really good job, leverage, hands, widening with an inside helmet. Because now it's really hard for him to bend that outside or bounce that outside. So not bend it inside or outside. Widens, sheds, tackle, or get in on the tackle. 2 more. Then I read the strengths and weaknesses, and then we're done. The next time you see me, I will be doing a quick Eagles game review, Panthers preview, and for my 8 people, including me, so 7 people in the pick'ems, I'll be doing a pick'ems, 5, 6, 7 games, whatever. It's going to be week 1. We were competing for a shirt or 2, maybe a shirt and a year subscription, whatever, maybe, or just shit talking in general. That's the main point, right? Hands power through. Okay, he's right here. Through 4-eye, loose 3. I call more of a 4-eye right here. A little bit wide of a split, so it makes it a little more difficult, but more of a 4-eye. Again, 1 hard step upfield. Inside-outside relationship versus the tackle or the guard, so he's going to take the outside. Looks like they go to double swipe his hands. Again, the right hand does not land. But at this point, he's winning the outside, or he's kind of just working against hands as he angles to the outside gap or to the B gap. So now what happens? You can see really deliberate rip again, because now that he steps inside, So I'll start again. Steps inside, which holds the feet. You can see this base widens. So that's going to be harder for him to get outside. So with that inside step, it freezes him. Now the outside's more open. Now, again, this punch, he's not balanced right here. Now this punch is not going to be underneath his hips, underneath his feet. So now it's just working against hands and not his base. So that hand is a main contact point. So what does he want to do? He wants to eliminate that hand. How does he eliminate that hand? Really deliberate rip. See, he rips it up. Now that eliminates that contact point. Hold the rip, lift it up, and you don't want to just rip initially, or you don't want to lift it up initially. You want to rip that thing up to the sky the entire time you're bending. Gets a hit on Mahomes again, checks it down quickly to Kelsey, who just sits in the soft spot. But still, obviously, a good win for him. It's really quick and etc. So, one play, squeeze counter, counter OF, counter OT. I don't know. Probably based on his alignment, how he's leaning on the outside leg, I'm going to say this is a counter OF where he's going to be guard and he's going to pull, just based on what he's looking right here right now. So let's see. Yes, I was right. Okay. I recorded it, but I'm not just bullshitting. I forget plays when I record them, especially when you do 43 in like a day or two. So everybody's stepping away from him. So he doesn't want to stay overly wide. He doesn't want to completely, obviously not maintain his backside gap responsibility, which actually ends up being front side because it's a counter. So good job. Just pinching down on it. Pinches down. Now he's trying to get kicked out. So it's an inside run. But with him pinching down, it's going to be obviously a lot tighter. So good job not hesitating right here. Don't want this guy completely kick you out. Don't dive inside because then he can bounce it outside of you. But squeeze down on the run while maintaining your outside leverage. So that's exactly what he does. Squeezes it, takes on the outside, inside shoulder versus outside shoulder. Squeeze it, and then power through contact right here. This is important in terms of, okay, squeezing down on the run. Again, not letting it develop inside. You want to see some hesitancy from him here, misdirection, him hold outside, kicked outside, him lead, boom, inside hold big, because he's more on the outside hash right here, or this hash instead of in between the hashes. Or these are the real hashes, but I guess there's like a college game or whatever it might have been probably with these. But nonetheless, you get the point. Squeeze down on it, but the power through contact right there to bend and get on that tackle is really, 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 really nice. And it's just forceful too. Just really, really powerful. So good job. That's the last play. Strengths and weaknesses. Hope you guys enjoyed. Got some of the nitty gritty, some of it. I rushed the end a little bit. Again, I just tend to do that with the end of stuff at times. Strengths. Thick build. Strength in general is one of his strengths. Effective in both pass and run game. Power in hands, power through contact, sets strong edge, power in trunk. Effective bull rush, versatility to play and man on line of scrimmage, inside at 4-eye, 3-tech, or in a 3 or 4 point stances, stand up at edge as well. I didn't put that in there first. Good rips, jerks to clear himself in run game. Discipline on backside of run game and play action plays, rips, jerks, and forks. I didn't put that in there either. Forks. I'm editing it kind of as we're going. Bring stump on tackles, hand usage in run game to shed, strong anchor, flashes of good hand usage and pass rush, typically with fork moves, and rips kind of too. Grip strength when applying to tackle radius. Yep, mentioned that a lot. Weaknesses: bend, flexibility, overall athleticism, more average, not twitchy. Secondary counter pass rush moves, can be late to shoot hands, caught in chest too often. Pass rush move variety, which increased in 2020 with the Dolphins. Can be late off snap. There's a play or two of that. I wanted to show that, but I kind of just rolled through. But his snap timing is inconsistent. Hand placement can be wide and high during attempted bull rushes at times. His get off is average. Lateral mobility needs to be more consistent in setting angles and leverage and bull rush. Yeah, again, sometimes he comes in high. Sometimes I think sometimes he'll be moving outside
get contact, then leverage, then go inside, or you see really good bull rushers like Khalil Mack who will get outside, really be deliberate in plant, work angle, or work the inside angle as he's contacting, where less effective bull rushers will be outside, contact, then get in. Again, Mack will be outside, in, hit, direct line through. It's all kind of one fluid motion inside as you contact. So your force is really exploding through him instead of being more moving outside to get inside, if you get what I'm saying. So I think he could be more consistent in setting his angles and leverage and bull rush and accuracy in hands technique. So appreciate you guys. I will see you in a couple of days in the next review. I'm not sure if this is coming out Friday or Saturday, but that review will be out most likely Sunday or Monday. And then other than that too, the only other news, again, starting after week 1, I'm doing a weekly live stream, one with Kyle Smith, the next week with Nani and maybe Sabo, then Kyle, then JetX, then whatever. And Monday, if you don't see the other review by Monday, every other 3 Mondays, I will be on Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 show for an hour or maybe 2. I don't maybe an hour, but 8 to 9. One of the JetX guys every Monday will be on Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. So go subscribe to that, and you'll see one of the JetX guys every Monday, 8 to 9 for the season at least. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon.